How's it going, everybody? Doing a antique stores haul here today. I guess it's more of a video games haul. And I only got 3 games here, so I kind of laugh calling it a haul. But I went into town today and went to the 3 antique places that are in the downtown Ashboro area. It's Antique Collectors Mall, Flea Marketeers, and Antiques and Geeks. Antiques and Geeks, where I got these 3 games from. Since we moved down here in June, I've gotten counting these 3, has it been 10 games? I got the Tony La Russa Baseball complete for the Genesis. That'd be 4. I got Ninja Gaiden for the NES 5. I got Broken Sword, Sleeping Dragon on the original Xbox 6. I got the 2 360 games, Eternal Sonata and Tales from Vesperia. That's 8. So it's just 8. I don't think I've gotten anything else from there. Oh, I got Buffy from there as well, 9. Forgot about Buffy. But I went there. It was nice out today. It was like pushing 80 degrees, if not over. So I went down there, went into the 3 of those, walked around town a bit. It's not a big area, but it was nice to get out and do some walking. And I went to Antique Collectors Mall first. This place is huge, too. Tons of stuff. They don't have a ton of game. They really don't have much game stuff at all in there, but they got a lot of cool stuff in there. Flea Marketeers has some games, but not a lot. Antiques and Geeks is the one that has the most games. I probably talked about it in the Buffy video with Buffy in it. But still, it's not like on Long Island there was dedicated game stores like every 3 towns. There was a lot. Like Long Island, if you were into video games, being in New York on Long Island, either Nassau, Suffolk County, Queens, and Brooklyn, I'm sure have a ton of retro game stores as well. But I would only go to the ones in Nassau and Suffolk County because they were the closest. In Massapequa, I would go to Video Game Trading Post when that was bouncing all over the place. There's like 4 of those locations now. And there's one in West Babylon. I would go to sometime Babylon by the train station. And then I was going to East End Gaming a lot and the Video Game Trading Post, the Bayshore Mall there. Dedicated game stores, right? This Antiques and Geeks has all types of stuff. Toys, regular antiques, comics. All 3 places have a good amount of comics. But it does have a decent amount of video games. Like where I got Buffy from, there's a decent amount. And then there's scattered ones, because I guess vendors go in there and take up a small part of these buildings, and they sell their stuff in there, right? But there's a place up front, a little section up front that has a decent amount of games, and this is where I've gotten all the games I've gotten there, except the Buffy, have been in this area. And they have a $2 bin. That's where I got the Tales of Vesperia and the Eternal Sonata. I think Eternal Sonata was actually $4. But it's the cheap bin in the bottom, and I go up in there, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking, and I'll show the one game last. The best of the 3. Unfortunately, they were $2 a piece. It was $6.42 after tax, so $2.14. Unfortunately, they do not accept refunds here. I've tested these games to work. One does not. The disc was annihilated. I did not check the discs in there. I checked to see the 2 games didn't have manuals. The one did. Whatever, it's a $2 risk, whatever. I need to get like a disc buffer or some kind of buffer, because I have a bunch of other discs that are badly scratched. They've either got a garage sales or the flea market, or now these types of places, antique places and stuff, just to try to buff them out a little bit and see if I can get them to work. But I'll show that one first. I never even heard of this game. I actually thought it was Cold Fear at first, and then it was covered by another game. But it's a Cold Winter on the PS2. $2. It's a risk. Like I said, I knew it didn't have its manual, but this disc is brutalized. I don't even know what that was. I don't know if you can see it. Reflection. Yeah, you can get an idea. Like if I get it like a kind of a cleaner itself, most of those are light. There's a ton of them, but there's a couple in there that are not light scratches. So I could probably scrub this down a little bit and see, but I would not be comfortable selling this. I almost just would be like, untested, disc is destroyed, and sell it for $5. There's no point. If anything, I could use this as a fresh case, but I never heard of this game, Cold Winter. Apparently it was online multiplayer on here as well, which is kind of cool. What does it say here? Facing execution for spying in China, a trusted friend from your past saves you at the last minute. You agree to work for his private security agency, but your first job may be your last, as a powerful secret society snares you in their deluded schemes. Honestly, I never, like I said, Sierra makes like King's Quest and stuff. Renderware on here was a Swordfish Studios. Vendy Universal's on the back, powered by GameSpy. But never heard of this one, actually. But $2, I took the chance, you know. I took the risk on all of them. I was like, screw it. You know, I went out of the store and then I went and sat down on a bench. I should have looked at the discs in there. I might not have grabbed this one. The other two I would have grabbed either way. I might not have grabbed this one, but whatever. Like I said, it's $2 and change. I'm taking the risk every time. Second one, I played this on the 360 originally. It was originally a PS2 game, but it is Bully on the Wii Scholarship Edition. I played Scholarship Edition on the 360 probably back in 2014. I got that at a garage sale too. I might have did that garage sale pickup on my original Buried Under Cliches channel. I think it was like $3. But this one was $2. Good deal again. No manual. The disc is in. It's got a 75 on there. The disc is in the Wii. But it worked. I played it briefly. That disc was in solid shape. A couple of weird things on it that I need to kind of get off of there. Once again, though, $2. Like this is in like the $2 bin. Thief Deadly Shadows is also in there for the original Xbox. I was gonna grab it, but it didn't have a manual, which whatever. But it didn't have its original case. But it looked like the original artwork. So I might, if it's in there next time I'm in there, I might just grab it and swap it out because I have a couple spare original Xbox cases with games that I don't have the game or the manual for. So I might just swap it out with that because that's a really cool game. Like I said, I played this on the 360. It was a cool game. It's GTA. It's made by Rockstar. It's essentially a GTA, except you're a kid in a prep school. What's his name here? Jimmy Hopkins. You're fighting the jocks. You're fighting other people. You're taking classes and stuff, which is really cool. Which a lot of people, I talked about Hogwarts Legacy. A lot of people wanted more of that, and myself included. In Hogwarts, you want to do more of the classroom stuff. You do a lot of that in this. You're doing missions in town and stuff. It's actually a really cool game. This one adds 8 new missions, 4 new classes, 4 new characters, 2-player mini games, new rewards. You see this? I guess the original might have come out in 06 because it says 08 on here as well. 2006, 2008. So this one might have been 08. And the original I think was a late era PS2 title, but it's a really cool freaking game, man. Bully Scholarship Edition. And this is the one that I was shocked to see in there. It does work. I played it for about 20 minutes. There is a weird mark on it that I have this game already. I got in this game at a G sale. I call garage sales G sales. At a couple of years, it might have been 22. I got 8 games for $10, and this was one of them. And I was keeping it. I'm like, I want to keep this. This is awesome. For $1.25. And I'm going to end up selling that copy and keeping this one. I might replace the case here because there was a big crack in it. It worked, but I don't know if it's one of these weird marks where 5 hours into the game all of a sudden screws up. I don't want to sell that to somebody and have it screw up. The other one's disc is in really good shape, so I'm more comfortable selling that one. I'm like different than other people. Like other people are like, oh, great, I have a shitty copy I can sell and keep the good copy. Or if you have a bad copy, you get a good copy. Me, I'm like, I'm selling the good copy. I'm more comfortable selling a good copy to somebody than I'd rather hold on to the copy that may screw up later down the line. May not. I may end up selling this one too, but I was shocked to see this. You guys probably like, show the fucking game. I saw it. I was like, it is in that bin. I was like, this can't. I'm like, I saw $2. I'm like, this can't have the game in it. And I popped it open. The game was in there. It's a Resident Evil Director's Cut. $2. I mean, great deal. You see the crack here, obviously, and there's a little damage here as well, and then there's a little crack going on the back. Obviously, they have the regular version of this that sells for a lot more than this one. I think it has a demo for like something on it. I don't know. I was going to say Devil May Cry, but that wouldn't make sense because Devil May Cry came out on the PS2. I think there's a demo in that one as well. Maybe it's for Resident Evil 2 or some shit. I don't know. But that one sells for a lot more. This one sells for typically around 30, maybe 27 to 35, that kind of range. I'll have to look. But it works. Like I said, the manual's in good shape, which is nice. Like I said, I was taking the risk regardless because if it doesn't work, I'll sell the case and manual. I'll swap out for a better case, sell the case and manual, get my money back. Definitely cool. Here it has the little warranty registration in the middle of it. Kind of cool. And you can play it with the DualShock. I was playing on the PS2. That's where I play my PlayStation 1 games. I do have a PlayStation 1, but I don't care to set it up, so I just use the PS2. And you can use the DualShock with this, which is nice, so it makes it a little easier to control. You know, back in the day, you're not thinking about it. Later on, after you play later iterations, you're like, I don't want to screw with these tank controls. They're terrible. But it's nice to have a copy. And like I said, to see this for $2, like I was like, okay, cool. And it was encouraging because I don't know how many games these kind of antique places are going to get in. I guess the vendors who rent out in this building, they get supply sometimes, but I don't know how often. It's not like these dedicated game stores that are constantly getting trade-ins and stuff, right? So it was cool to see some new stock in there. I was like, oh, cool. GTA 5 was in there, which I hadn't seen. A couple Genesis sports games, Bulls vs. Blazers, Lakers vs. Celtics, which I already have, for $2 a piece. There was some decent stuff in there. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe if I go in there again, like I said, Thief Deadly Shadows, I might grab next time. But I mean, $2 for this is a hell of a deal, and it works. I mean, like I said, I played it for a little bit. I don't know if you can see the mark. There's some regular scratches on here and some odd marks, but there's a thing that this is the one that you're not gonna be able to see it. There's like a little mark there. You're not gonna be able to see it. It's just an interesting mark that I do not like. Like I said, that could come into play later on in the game, but I'm gonna sell my copy. I don't know if I'm gonna play this thing full. Honestly, like, it's cool to have. Like, I like having it, and I might throw it in and maybe time to time play a little bit because I feel like I can't go for a long time on this because I'm going to get so annoyed with the controls. Because I never played this one back in the day. I have not much experience with this one. My first experience with Resident Evil was Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. My first experience with this was the remake on the GameCube, which also had tank controls as well. And you know, back then you didn't care as much, right? It's just even playing those, the remake and like Zero, are a little frustrating because of the controls. But like I said, still cool as hell to find this for $2. Like, I saw it immediately. It was like like I said, like, this can't be in there, and I'm like, oh, it is. Okay, immediately grab that. And then I think I saw Bully, and I'm like, Cold Winter. If it was Cold Fear, I would have been more pissed if it didn't work because that's a much more expensive game, and I would have liked to have just played that. Like I said, though, maybe I get some cleaner, try to find a cheaper thing, maybe get some of that stuff you can spray on it. Maybe that cleans it up a little to where it's readable. Like I said, though, I still wouldn't be comfortable selling this, honestly, because someone's going to be like, dude, this thing's destroyed. I wouldn't even sell this for money. Like, this, I was looking at prices on eBay, like $12, $13.99 without the manual, but I'm sure those discs are not ravaged. So I'd have to sell that thing for like $7. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely cool. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Find that. Shit, man. I have enough cases floating around that I could swap this out for a better case for myself. But yeah, definitely cool to find this. Like, just anything. It's not like it's a $500 game or some shit, but it's cool. You know, $25, $35 game. Hey, find it for $2. Awesome. But yeah, that's just some video game pickups, antiques haul, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'll call it a video games haul. It's not really a haul, but I'll call it that. But anyway, thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.